Media presents Comedy Insights. We give you the scoop on all things comedy, such as
my first time I ever bumped,
my favorite comedy special.
What's it like to be a woman in comedy?
Is there a comedian that I grew up watching and I met him, I didn't like him?
I don't give a fuck. Them niggas know who they is. I got on their ass about that too.
Do I have any comedy groupie stories?
Bro, what was that question again?
You are watching Comedy Insights.
Okay, boom. Listen, this is Sanchez Blackman, and you're watching Comedy Insights. Who was the first person to take me on the road? Comedian Miss Jen. It was pretty dope. We actually went to Florida. Yeah, we went to a show in Florida. I was nervous as hell. And I remember her just telling me, just do you. Marty P was there. He was like, just do you, do your thing. And I was like, oh my God, I ain't never been to Florida. These people might not understand my accent, but it was a damn good time. It was a good time. All right, so my favorite place to perform is predominantly at the Atlanta Comedy Theater in Atlanta, and then I missed the Improv. Oh my God, I missed the Improv so much. The Improv was number one, then it was Atlanta Comedy Theater. Yep. Uptown Comedy Corner is the first place I did stand-up comedy. Like, I never forget, Nard roasted the hell out of my ass, and Scobo was the one who was like, put her on stage. This is a young cat from Mississippi. Let's see what the hell she gonna do. She ain't gonna be about shit anyway. It was crazy, but yeah, that was my first time. You know what? It actually felt really, really great because that's what I moved to Atlanta to do. And let me tell you how God worked. So I always wanted to be a comedian. So in high school, I took theater and we had this little project. A lot of people don't know this. We had this project in theater and we had to write a letter to one of our favorite artists in the entertainment industry. It was Mike Epps, right? So, you know, Scobo and Mike Epps, like, they like this. So the night that I did comedy, that first night, and I bombed, all right, I got off stage and I went and sat down. Didn't even know who Mike Epps was. He had his hat down. He was texting on his phone. He was like, you did good, but you know you got to go back up there. And when I looked up, I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, you know what, God, I'm supposed to be here. That was confirmation. My favorite city to perform in. Now, when I'm out on the road traveling, Charlotte. Charlotte, that's a different type of crowd down there. They follow me. They made me sell out all my merchandise. They still DM me today. When you coming back to Charlotte? I mess with Charlotte. They some good people down there. The first comedian that I saw live, Mike Epps. Like, real comedian, Mike Epps. Because that night I bummed at Uptown, he got on stage and did, I don't want to say a guest spot. He had a star spot because he took over that night. My favorite comedy special? Oh, you pushing it with this. Lord. Definitely Kevin Hart Laugh at My Pain. And when I really started to understand the edgy side of comedy, when I was really doing some research, and this is back then, you know how people be with their opinion with comedy. When I was young in the game, when I was just searching, Lisa Lampanelli, I don't know that comedy special name, but she actually did a comedy special and it was raw. And I was like, oh crap, like female comedians can be this edgy. And then of course, the queens of comedy and then the kings of comedy. Like I don't know, as far as that material and how all the diversity that was on the show and different backgrounds, I loved it. Trying to think. Did I just name a decent amount? Okay. Yeah, when it comes down to people comedy specials and stuff like that. Oh, of course, and I like all of Dave Chappelle comedy specials he just dropped. Like, them shits is amazing, okay? And then Deon Cole comedy special is pretty dope on Netflix. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lie. I don't remember the names, but I remember y'all. Ever since I was a little girl, my mother used to be sick all the time. And I would just do like a lot of silly stuff or whatever. She used to call me her comedian. And so when I used to go to the hospital, she used to be up in ICU. She used to tell the nurses like my daughter is a little comedian. I was like 7 or 8. And I remember her used to tell me like, do something to make me laugh. Say something to make me laugh. And I got an old ass soul. And I hung out around a lot of old people. So I used to say like a lot of old slang. And she used to be like, oh my God, this girl is an old woman. And I think honestly, that's how it started. What is my comedy style? You know what? It's definitely Southern. It's edgy. It's about life, real life situations. I really don't get into politics. I really don't talk about like most of the stuff that's very, very current. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I touch down in the city, something going on, I'm looking at, the surroundings of the city, then I might tap into that. But it's mainly about my life, things I encountered in the day-to-day stuff. So my style is everyday life. Oh yeah, I look at my comedy notes or whatever. A lot of stuff that I'm gonna talk about in my set, I kind of like how style is a little different. I write down my opening, then after I look what's going on in the room, the atmosphere, whatever, write that down first, look at it, boom, boom, boom. This is what I'm gonna say. This is my punchline. This is my punchline. This is gonna be my closer. And then I just have a PTA meeting with God, and I'm like, Jesus, take this nervousness and convert it into energy, and let's just rock out tonight. And thank you for my gift. And that's pretty much it. That's the same prayer I say every time. Oh my God, the first time I bombed, child, let me tell you something. The way Nard roasted my ass, I wanted to go lay in traffic on I-85. Do you hear me? And it wasn't even that bad. He was disappointed because I gave up. I felt like towards the end of my set, I wasn't getting the laughs that I wanted. So I literally said on stage, I still got it on tape. I was like, shit, y'all ain't laughing. Shit, I ain't gonna waste my time. Y'all ain't gonna waste my time. And I walked off stage and they laughed on that part. And when I got down, I was just like, I was looking on the side like, I gotta go back up there. Like, I'm not scared of y'all. Like, I want to do this. I want it. And that was just my mindset. How can I do this again? And how can I make it right? How can I get it right? That was my mindset. A time that I was surprised about a comedian that knew who I was. I want to say that time I was out in LA. I was at the Hollywood Improv. Dion Cole was performing. I had met Dion Cole like a couple of years back in Atlanta. He was working at the Atlanta Comedy Theater, and he just remembered me being country. He gave me a guest spot on his show, and he came up to me. He was like, yo, you the country girl from Atlanta, hold my shit. Like he had a cake. He had like this like pink or some kangaroo, had this fur coat or something. He was, I'm about to go on stage. He was like, yo, what's up? What you doing out here? And I was just like, oh, I hold all your stuff. Like, thank you for remembering me. So yeah, that was one of those moments. Yeah. I remember the times. Have I met a comedian that I grew up watching stand up and I liked him even more in person? I would say again, Mike Epps. You gonna keep hearing that name? Like watching him as a young kid was like wow. And then Dave Chappelle, I watched him growing up. I met Dave Chappelle multiple times and like literally sitting side by side. Amazing blessing is. I feel like the energy is just the same as I felt watching them through television. And then Kevin Hart, of course, that was an amazing experience. Just the energy feel different. I like when people are very, very humble and understand, you know what I'm saying, where they came from and stuff like that. Like when I first met Dave, it wasn't, one of my friends used to go on tour with him. And so I ended up telling her I was out in LA. I said, every time I come to LA, I don't never get to see Dave Chappelle. And it's like 1:00 in the morning. And she was like, why you wait till the last minute to say something? I'm thinking to myself, I ain't know you had that kind of pull, like, you know. And she was like, get on your clothes, hurry up, let's go. I guarantee you he down there. I think he was at the what the comedy club called? Not Tickle Me Tuesdays. Oh my God, they got the Ha Ha Room, everything. Oh, Jesus. It's on the tip of my tongue. Michelle Michelle Murdoch. Oh my God, I got to get this comedy club right. Anyway, she told me to put on my clothes. We run downtown to the comedy club, and literally Dave Chappelle was in there. And it's like he was on stage from 1 o'clock in the morning to like 5 o'clock in the morning. It's like 6 of us, a decent amount of celebrities that's in there that stayed over to watch him. And at the end of the night, she was like, "You want to meet him?" I was like, "Sure." And she walked me over there to him. He was very, very humble. Like, it's like he forgot that he was a millionaire or something. It was a great experience. Couldn't get a picture, but I remember that moment for the rest of my life. Was there a comedian that I watched growing up and then I met him and didn't like him? I'm going to say no. Okay, so I can say this. I will say yes, but I won't say the name. I just want to keep the slate clean. I don't want to say a name. They was a complete asshole. Yes, they was a complete asshole. At one time, we was in the green room chilling, and he just put everybody out for no reason to a certain degree. He was chopping it up with people. And then there was one who was like, "I don't take comedians. I don't take pictures with comedians." He was not happy. I was just like, "Ooh, I'm going to stay away." I just saw other comedians got turned around. And then it was this one female comedian who I really, really adore. I was so excited to meet her. And her manager knew me and he introduced me to her, and she walked away and was like, "I ain't got time to be meeting new people and shit. I don't give a damn about that." Went in the green room and slammed the door. And I was just like, "Oh my God, my heart is broken." But we human, you know what I'm saying? Have I ever stolen a joke by mistake or on purpose? No. Now, as far as similar punchlines or something like that, I've had a situation like that, but the lady came back later on and apologized because somebody was in her ear like, "Yeah, that's your joke, da-da-da-da-da." And she was just like, "Sanchez, I'm so sorry. I pretty much shouldn't have listened to her, this, that, and the third." So, yeah. I definitely have had 2 situations like that in my career. Like both times we was actually on the same show together that whole weekend. And then one night, about the Saturday night second show, went out there and opened up with everything verbatim. It was to the point where her boyfriend was in the green room and was just like, is she trying to do that? I thought I was getting punked. And literally, honest to God truth, I had to pull her to the side because I went to a certain degree, I wasn't going to say nothing. But my words to her is like, "This market is small. We share most of the same stages." Like literally, you just said everything that I said verbatim. And she apologized. We had a little bit of words and it took her to think about what I was saying so it wouldn't get too far left. And literally, she took heed to it. She apologized and she was like, "You was right." And that was just pretty much it. We good, no beef, no nothing or whatever. And then the other human, she was just like, "My bad. I didn't know. I didn't think, it was that close. It was that similar." But after talking to somebody else that was there that night, they was like, "Yeah, you pretty much tapped into her stuff." And that was the only time. The misconceptions in comedy. I feel like oh my God. When you think about that, sometimes they give comedians a hard time. And they think that we are supposed to be censored with everything that we say. We supposed to be sensitive to a lot of stuff when reality, we go through so much stuff and we got to let it out. So us being censored and sensitive towards the norms of the world, that'll shut comedians down. It'll make it seem like we don't have a voice. So that bothers my spirit a lot. That's just from the sensitivity of gay jokes, people who have disorders or something like that. Like if these people really went down the checklist, we'll be goddamn mute. So I like the fact that a comedy is a space that we're allowed to be who we are. You know what I'm saying? And I do have some of my discrepancies as far as how they kind of put female comedians all in one bubble and say, this is all that y'all talk about, sex, your cuz, rump shit is nasty, but men could go on stage and be like, hey man, I had 5 girls give me head and have you ever had sex at a park? Male comedians can get on stage and talk about the same thing. And then what gets me sometimes is they book show. They be thinking they be fine and dandy for female comedians. If you see most of the lineup, sometimes it's all males. And then if they end up trying to book a female comedian, they cut her short on her money and they pay their homeboys of males more. And it's just like, no, like, why would you do that? And I've actually had that happen to me. Somebody called me for a show and wanted to give me $150, and I see heavy hitters on the show, and the first thing come out your mouth, everybody telling me I need to book you. Everybody telling me, I know good and God doggone well, you know, me and you both know I deserve more. And when I gave him my price, he was like, I can't do that because I gave it to such and such. Well, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I don't like that. And then also they put, sometimes it's like, outside of the feminine drama of women alone, but sometimes these men be shaking up the pool when it come down to female comedians. Like, men, this comedian used to be cool, and I forget one male comedian said, shit, y'all ain't gonna be friends long because she funnier than you and you ain't gonna make it. Like, in front of both of us. Like, this shit get nasty. So, no, I'm not gonna say that, but it get real. Like, it get real. You know, it's just, you know, it just be too much. And then you have an all-female lineup. Sometimes it just be too much goddamn drama. Just too much drama sometimes. Let me tell you something. It's funny. What I do when I get heckled, and I learned this from Lunel, I might say something back a time or two, but people came to see a show. They paid to come see a show. Period. So with that being said, I'm gonna mess with you a little bit, but if you keep on, security, come get you out of there. Come on, come get this person out of here because it's not fair to the audience. And when I first seen her deal with that, I was like, oh, I want to see how she gonna do. I just knew, I'm like, Lunel about to go in. And she said what she said a time or two, and they kept going in. And she was like, I can't have this shit. Like, people came here to see me. She told the security to get them out of there, and that's what they did. And I was just like, I like that. That was real professional. And I thought you had to be a celebrity to do that, but yeah, I be doing it, and the security get them right on out of there. Do I have any janky promoter stories? Baby, yes, I do. Child, how many you want me to give you? All right, boom. The first one, when I first started doing comedy, this promoter booked me, and literally, he was like, you're going to feature tonight. I'm going to give you your money. I think the show was for only like $75 at the time. And nobody showed up to this event. It was like 3 humans in the crowd. And so the man did not want to pay me my money, and the 3 humans was the people that I brought. And it was for somebody's birthday party that he knew. Man, they wanted to pay me my money. And he was just like, well, listen, let me run to the airport and get the real promoter, and then I'll come back and pay you. And I was like, no, it don't work that way. And then he started calling me out my name and was like, bitch, I'm gonna give you your money. Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. Stop worrying me. And my people heard that. And long story short, it was not a good night. Like, it got nasty to the point, like, the police came over, literally. And I just remember him throwing my money up in the air and like walking off. That was one instance. Another janky promoter, he local. This man, he still owe me $200 today. And I see him. I still see him out on the comedy scene and everything. And he still be like, man, I'm so sorry, because he know I don't fuck with him in real life. But he did a show, featured, rocked the house. Do you hear me? Rocked out. Even the headliner was like, I need to book you on a couple of shows. And he held his word. He booked me on a couple more shows. Long story short, he came up to me the end of the night and was just like, listen, let me see what's going on with my tab. I see the headliner going to his car. Good shit, Sanchez, da-da-da. He happy. So I know he got his money. So I'm like, damn. Sitting, waiting. And he was just like, man, they playing with my money. And he was just like, but here you go. And he gave me like the grandma hand. You know, your grandma squeeze your hand real tight and transfer the money. I looked at my hand. It was $10. It was $10. And I'm like, what? So I'm going off mad shit. And he was just like, man, I fucked up the tab, man. I invited all my friends and them niggas ran up a $500 tab. I'm sorry, man. And then every time he seen me out on the scene, he tried to pay me in food. Bruh, I don't want no food. Like, you tripping. I don't want no food. Give me my money. One last story, because I got a couple of. One time, I go down to Carolina, do a show with my comedy brother, Benny Pitts. Literally, Lil Boosie and everybody's supposed to be on this show. It's supposed to be a lit-ass night. I'm excited. Literally, we drove down there, get to the hotel room after still not getting our money. And, you know, you went on road, you got to share a room. So me and Benny sharing a room or whatever. Of course, double bed. So, we get back to the hotel room. You know, I'm a woman. I'm like, Benny, the towels look heavy. Like, the room looked like it was pre-used. He was like, what you mean it look heavy? His friend was just like, man, the towel don't look heavy. What you mean? I'm like, I'm a woman. The towels look wet. Go in the refrigerator. The refrigerator got stuff in there like food. Look in the bathroom garbage. It had a Grey Goose bottle, an orange Fanta bottle, a bag of Doritos, and a used condom wrapper. So I'm like, I can't sleep. We finna drive back to Atlanta. And so he was like, man, just chill. We tired. Get a knock on the room door. Look outside. It's like over 16 strippers trying to get in the room. They was like, we got the word. This is where Lil Boosie gonna be tonight. So I'm like a mama, like Benny and them get up like shit. Hell yeah, y'all come in here. Like him and his homeboy excited. I'm talking about these women half-ass naked. Do you hear me? So now I gotta put on my mama uniform. And I'm like, ain't no goddamn body coming up in here. So this girl step out of the line. She comes to the front, this light-skinned chick with 2 puff balls, like with a 2-piece swimming suit on pretty much. She was just like, my dude is the promoter. We was here today. All our friends, we was chilling in the room. We did. So that's what they told us to come back to. I was like, so y'all was the one who used the room. She said, yeah, we've been here since this morning when we checked in. And I was like, we gotta go. The worst story ever. Didn't get our money, got a pre-used hotel room, and they had sex in the bed. So we couldn't even sleep. We went to the car and just left. So yeah, I got a lot of stories. So I definitely got a lot of comedy groupie stories, and I don't take pride in them at all. You know what I'm saying? It's been a lot of times, like when I first started coming, my dumb ass put my personal cell phone number on my business cards. Nobody told me about Google Voice, And next year, I've been in the game about 9 years, so nobody told me. So people used to pick up my cards off the table when I was selling merchandise. The men would call me after the shows and be like, hey, this Clarence, I saw you at the Atlanta Comedy Theater and I want to know, can I take you out? And people used to call. And I like made it a rule, like I don't date people from the audience from my comedy shows because now I don't know what your intentions are. So it's scary. And I had one couple stay after the comedy show and tried to ask me for a threesome. Yeah, they tried to offer me a threesome. But yeah, as far as calling me and stuff like that, yeah. And then I've had this lesbian couple that showed up to every comedy show damn near. Every comedy show. And I'm like, baby, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The most embarrassing moment as a comedian. Oh. Okay, cool. So the most embarrassing moment as a comedian, I go on stage and I got a wardrobe malfunction. Huge wardrobe malfunction. The piece of my heel had fell off. So you hear this weird clack on the stage and it looked like I'm limping, like I got a messed up ankle. And then the dress that I had on was a half crop top dress. And I got big breasts. The halfness lifted up and you saw the bottom portion of my breast. So the lady on the front row like, she kept doing that. And I'm still doing. And she like, pull it down. pull it down. And I'm like, what is this lady talking about? And lo and behold, when I had this joke when I leaned over and did like this, and I felt number titty meat under here. I was like, oh my God. At the end of the night, they was like, you was rocking and rolling, baby. But yeah, all that was showing. It was horrible. That was an embarrassing time for me. That was really, really horrible. I did not appreciate that at all. So try to make sure I'm right. My first fan moment when someone was a fan of me was at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. I've been working at the Atlanta Comedy Theater for a long time. And when I started getting featured to be on the shows a lot, people was coming up to me like, oh my God, girl, I've been following you for a long time, da 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 da. And it like just made me cry so much. I had this family come from Alabama. When they was like, we finally like see that you was gonna be at a real comedy club, girl. We said we was coming down here. And they was reciting old jokes, old skits that I had did, repeating statuses on Facebook. And I'm like, I don't even remember that. Like, that moment made me cry because they drove a long way and they bought like over $200 worth of merchandise. Mm-hmm. Where I see myself 5 years from now. So, acting is my soul and spirit. Comedy is my heart. So 5 years from now, I definitely would love to be in some major films. And I don't even have to be playing a comedic role. Like, I'm from Mississippi, so I love old school Negro Southern movies and stuff like that. I would love to like play in the movies from like the 60s and 70s and stuff like that. So in 5 years from now, my fan base following up on social media, rocking out shows, but definitely in the acting industry, very, very heavy. That's just simply it. My truth about comedy life, is beautiful, it's ugly, it's amazing, it's fruitful. Is educational as far as the entertainment industry and stuff like that, the things you learn about people, their personal lives, just in general. It's an amazing gift. Is for me, it's almost like all the above. If you could be a comedian, you a beast. Like, I remember I tried to quit comedy cold turkey and just focus on acting. And when I would go into the auditions, they'd be like, is there anything else you know how to do? And I'm like, well, I'm a comedian. They'd be like, do a 3 to 5 minute set or whatever time frame they ask for. And they laugh. Now I've heard people say, oh my God, I needed that today. Like, comedy is a beautiful thing. And sometimes comedy come with a lot of pain. And that's from your personal life, the laws of the industry, the politics and all that. But for me, it's worth it. If you love it, you feel like it's a God-given purpose, you can't go wrong with it. Advice to a new comedian, they always accent. Stay consistent, stay true to you, and don't get distracted by the bullshit. And that's just simply it. It'll be cool if you don't click up too much, but definitely be a likable person. And just remember, this business is 10% funny and 90% business. And that's just period. My proudest moment in comedy, I got a couple of 2 standing ovations. No, 3 standing ovations. One time at Uptown Comedy Corner, the new Uptown, and then twice at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. And then having my first TV moment, Heart of the City. And that's pretty much it. And then I just recently filmed Black Panther, so yeah. What's it like to be a woman in comedy? It's cool. It's beautiful. But, it's a lot of stuff that goes behind it. Being a female, you got to work 2 times harder. I be telling some females, sometimes you got to work like you got a sack of scrotums or something. And they be thinking I be playing, but I be dead serious. You got to go hard. You can be cute. You can try to fuck your way up. You can try that. But still, at the end of the day, You want to be a beast. You want to put in the work, and you want to make people respect you. And that's just simply it. You don't want to be a pushover. That's all I'm saying. So be funny. Being cute is a plus, but be in beast mode. Damn, I hope I answered that right.
That was great.
Oh. Five underrated comedians that people should know. My girl, Shawnee D. Shawnee D from Detroit. That heifer is a beast. Do you hear what I'm saying? I done seen her flip a whole room out. Over 300 people. I love Shawnee D, and she can make two people in the mouse laugh. Love her. Shula King, that's my comedy brother. That man is very, very funny. His artwork when it comes to the comedy game and how he can put a story together in his imitations, freaking love it. Ryan Davis, I love him. It's so smooth. It's so real. It's reality. It's a little raw, but it's life. Like, I like that. Of course, me. Country Southern girl, baby. When I start selling out shows and stuff like that, is gonna be amazing.
I knew y'all was special, man. You did what I'm saying? Y'all make me laugh for life. Hello.